everybody, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this really awesome crumple tie-dye technique. So the first thing I did was I just dampened my fabric so that it was easier to work with, plus it makes the dye look cooler. So you want to start by scrunching your fabric up like I just did there, and then you want to take your rubber bands and put them on there to hold everything in place. Super easy. If you struggle with the spiral, this might be a good one to learn with because this is probably one of the easiest tie-dye techniques. And if you're using a shirt or a piece of clothing, you're going to want to wash it beforehand just to make sure that it doesn't shrink or anything after you've already dyed it. But because this is just like a piece of fabric that I'm going to hang on my wall, I was like, I don't need to wash it. So I didn't wash it, but I did dampen it just because, as I said, that helps make everything easier and it makes the dye look better in my opinion. Like it just makes the dye feather out better. So after you have all of that done, you're going to want to dye it. So I did 3 triangles of color. Usually when I see people do this, they only do one color or they just kind of put the color wherever. But I wasn't really thinking about it and I just decided to do 3 triangles of it. Honestly, not a huge fan of how it turned out. I'd recommend doing 6 triangles if you're gonna do triangles, or just putting dye kind of wherever and not following any specific pattern. But you just want to make sure that you dye the front and the back, and then when you're done, just make sure you examine it really closely and find any of the white spots and put dye on it, because this specific pattern ends up with a lot of white anyways, so you don't want there to be too much white, otherwise it doesn't look as cool. And then after I was done dyeing it, I just put it in a plastic bag to sit overnight. Usually you only need to wait like 6 to 8 hours, but I wanted the colors to be really vibrant, so I let it sit overnight. And then the next thing I did was just rinse all of the excess dye out. You want to rinse it out until the water runs clear. Is what I ended up doing was just putting the hose through the deck in a specific way so that it was hanging off of the deck, so I could just use it as like a mini sink outside because I didn't want to get dye on my sink. So yeah, just make sure that you rinse your fabric out so that when you like wring it out, the water that comes off of it is clear. And then the next thing you want to do is just put it in the washer. I know this video is like a really bad clip, but I was filming in front of my mom and it's weird to film your washer in front of your parents. I don't know. Anyways, you just want to follow whatever instructions your tie-dye gives. Usually it says to use like the full load, like put as much water in there as you can and use hot water. But my mom didn't want me to do that. She didn't want me to be wasting all that water, so I just did a little bit of water, which honestly was fine because they're just little things I'm gonna hang up. They're not shirts or anything, so it's fine. But overall, I'd recommend just looking at your package of dye to see what it says as far as washing instructions. And keep in mind the washing instructions if you're using clothing or something in case it says any specific things, because some things have to be washed a specific way. So then after it was done washing, I just put it on this drying rack and I let it hang to dry. If you do a shirt, you can put it in the dryer as long as that specific shirt type is okay to put in the dryer. But because I didn't know if this fabric could go in the dryer, I just let it hang dry. So this is a picture of it after it has been dried. So I think that's it for this video. If you have any other questions, just ask me in the comments down below. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.